Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about how to figure out what you want out of life. So guys, listen, I made a video why most people never reach their full potential. And in that video, the main premise of what I was discussing and trying to convey was the fact that most people don't reach their full potential because they're so absorbed in the everyday realities of living, just like being around other people, their family, their friends, their co-workers, teachers, right? You know, just the normal people that we interact with on a daily basis, right? So in that video, I said that most people never break out of that. They live with their family too long, they stay in school for too long, they stay in jobs around certain people for so long, and they get their brain programmed to be a certain way, to think a certain way, and as a result of that, have results that are, for the most part, mediocre, right? So with that being said, I'm going to talk about kind of like a step two, I guess, or a part two to that video. And what I'm going to talk about here is how to figure out what you want. So once you are able to like really kind of like break away from the norm, right? You start to question reality. You start to not necessarily distance yourself from other people in a resentful way, but you figure out who you are. You figure out, you know, hey, this is not you just come to the realization like, hey, this is not the way to live. This is not these are not the results I want. And once you come to that understanding, now it's time for you to figure out what you want. So I think another reason why most people don't achieve the results they want, or they don't carve the life out that they want, right? Or they end up living a life that isn't what they wanted it to be, is because no one ever, like, are we ever like really told like the key to like figuring things out is to know what you want? You know, I mean, like, really think about it, right? When is your mom or your dad or your siblings or your teachers or your coworkers or your boss, when has anyone ever asked you or told you the fact that, hey man, to really figure out what you want in life and to get on the right path, you have to figure out what it is that you want, right? Because here's the truth. If you don't figure out what you want, you're going to fit into someone else's wants. You're going to live someone else's dream. If you don't work on your own dream, your own vision, you're going to, by default, be in someone else's dream or vision, right? So with that being said, it's a non-negotiable. You have to sit down and write down what you want out of life. So when it comes to your career, your health, your business, your relationships, like, what kind of partner do you want? Like, what kind of career do you want? How much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to make monthly? How much do you want to make annually? Where do you want to live, right? Who do you want to live with? Do you want a family? Do you want to live by yourself? Do you want to be a minimalist? Do you want to have a lot of things, right? So I'm not telling you guys which path is right or wrong. It's going to be different for every one of you. But I think the big picture to this concept is you have to be the one to decide what you want. Not what your mom said, not what your dad said, not what your siblings think, not what your friends think, not what the teacher said, not what your coworkers are telling you think you'd be good at. Now, am I saying that you should completely discard anyone's opinion or just discard some useful advice they might have for you? No. But at the end of the day, when you go home and you sit in silence and you are in meditation, or you're outside in nature reflecting, or you're just thinking about what you want and what sounds good and what doesn't sound good, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you're the decision maker. So it's you who comes up with the decision, right? And it's you who ends up doing the things required to make that vision a reality and make it manifest in the physical realm all around us, right? So that's key, guys. And when it comes to goal setting, I remember reading in Brian Tracy's book, he just basically said that, like, I forget the exact statistics and percentages of people that write down goals or don't write down goals versus people who do write down goals. But he said basically, like, the people that do write goals down, which is a small percentage of people, those are the people who actually like achieve the results they want and like manifest the life they want. So, I'm not saying you have to like write it. I mean, it helps to write things down, right? I'm not really great at goal setting. I need to improve on that, and I need to also refine, what I'm doing at times, the different technicalities to what I want. But at the same time, you know, I understand and I accept the fact that writing things down is important, and also just thinking about it on a daily basis, right? It's not good enough to just think one time, oh, that would sound nice. Like most people just think, oh yeah, it would sound nice to have a lot of money, right? And then it like kind of like goes away, and then they just continue on with their life, right? And they never really think about the subject again, or they never give thought to it. But I think that when you like are able to like sit there and really like, you know, it's an everyday process, right? It's not something you don't just like journal one day and write down the things you want, or write down your goals and just, oh, next thing you know, like you're good to go. It's something you write down one day, maybe next month you write down some new goals, or 6 months from now you write down some new goals, and then you're constantly thinking about it. Guys, and another thing too is this is a lifestyle. This is an everyday thing. It has to be an everyday thing. You constantly need to be thinking about what you want and how you're getting there. And, you know, obviously there's going to be different ways that you're going to have to maneuver as you go, right? Because things change, right? Situations change, economies change, relationships change. You know, so things are always changing. So, you know, it's whatever you want, whatever your goal is, it might not be exactly that when it comes to fruition and it manifests, but at least you're on the path. You know what I mean? Like at least you're shooting for, like you're shooting for the target, you're shooting for that middle target, and instead of being like all the way on the outside of the target, at least, hey man, like let's say the target's my nose, right? Instead of hitting like my ear, right? At least I hit this part of the nose. So I didn't hit the pointer, but I hit like really close. I hit right here. So this, you know, that's just an analogy, but you guys get what I mean? Like you might not hit the goal exactly, or hit the realization like to the exact T, but if you got close, it's still a win, right? Because you were close enough to the point where you weren't so far away and you didn't like completely not live the life you wanted, right? So and another thing too is, guys, like I'm not here to tell you what's right, like what that is for you, right? And another thing as well, this is just like kind of like the first step in the process. So most people fail, or most people just live mediocre lives because they don't even like, first off, they don't think it's possible to live like a successful life, whatever that entails. And then secondly, they never like even think about like what they want. They never think about it. So it's like if you don't think about it, or you don't, you know, obviously the second piece to knowing what you want is working towards it. But if you never know what you want, how can you work towards something you don't know what you want, right? So guys, like, and here's like another point. If you don't like know what you want, you know, like earlier, kind of like alluding to what I said earlier, you're gonna just by default, if you're not creating your life, you're by default fitting into someone else's life, right? Because every job, whether we realize it or not, you're in a business, right? So you're either in business for yourself or you're in business for someone else, right? There's nothing wrong with working for other people, you know, for an extended period of time, or, you know, maybe you just want to like, you know, I'm not knocking anybody. If you want to live a mediocre existence and work for people all your life and just do whatever, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. But I think for the majority of you guys, you know, you want to live life on your terms. So, and, you know, here's the thing too. Some of you guys might not feel like you need money to be happy, or, you know, the money that the money might not affect you, right? Like, you know, if I intend to create a family, right, or I intend to have, you know, multiple children, I'm gonna need to make a significant amount of money, as opposed to someone who is maybe single, or maybe they want to be a bachelor and just, you know, kind of be a minimalist. You get what I'm saying? So it's gonna differ. Your wants and your goals are gonna differ based off of how you are as a person. Like for me, you know, I'm not saying like I'm like a introvert, but I do like I prefer to spend a good chunk of my time, you know, just by myself. Like I just find like more peace of mind, and, you know, the less people, less problems kind of like mentality. So, you know, that's me. Some people might want to be the life of the party. They might want to live a bachelorette lifestyle where they're partying and, you know, they're entrepreneurs and they're making a lot of money and they're investors in that. And that's great, right? You know, I still have investment goals. I still have business goals, career goals, etc. But the point I'm trying to make is it's going to be different. So the key is to realize the importance of knowing what you want, and then as a result, you know, over time, you know, it's gonna, your modus operandi for the different areas of your life that you have goals in, it's gonna be different. So you might have to do different things along the way, or refine your approach, or, you know, try different things or fail and then realize that that thing wasn't the thing that was going to get you there. But at the end of the day, you're going to be a lot better off if you know what you want. So yeah, guys, I think that sums it up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.